हाय फ्रेंड्स, आज हम फेडरल सिस्टम के बारे में डिस्कस करेंगे। इंडियन पॉलिटी का 13 चैप्टर है, ठीक है। तो पॉलिटिकल साइंटिस्ट हैव जस्ट क्लासिफाइड पॉलिटिकल साइंटिस्ट जो है क्लासिफाइड गवर्नमेंट इनटू यूनिटरी एंड फेडरल ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ नेचर ऑफ रिलेशंस बिटवीन द नेशनल गवर्नमेंट एंड द रीजनल गवर्नमेंट, ठीक है। पॉलिटिकल साइंटिस्ट जो है वो क्लासिफाई किया है क्लासिफाई गवर्नमेंट्स इनटू यूनिटरी एंड फेडरल ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ nature of relations between the national government and the regional government. Okay, by definition, a unitary government is one of which all the powers are vested in the national government. Okay, and the regional government. Okay, unitary government is one which all powers, example, all powers are vested between all powers is one which all powers are vested in the national government and the regional government. In if all exist, okay, derived their authority. If all exist derived their authority from the national government. A federal government, on the other hand, is one in which powers are divided in between the national government and the regional government by the constitution itself, and both operate in their relative jurisdiction independently. Britain, France, America, Japan, China, Italy, Belgium, Norway, Sweden, Spain, and so on. The unitary models of the government. Okay, unitary form of the government. Unitary model of government. While the US, Australia, Canada, Switzerland, Russia, Brazil, Argentina, and so on, the federal model of government. It is the unitary and it is the federal. Federal government, federal model. The national government is known as federal government or central government. The federal government or the central government or the union government, and the regional government is known as the state government, and the regional government is known as state government or the provincial government. The specific features of the federal and unitary governments are mentioned below in the comparative manner. Comparing federal features and federal and unitary governments. Federal and unitary governments. Federal governments, मतलब US government, Canada government, and it is China, Russia it is. And federal government, dual government, that is national, federal, that is national government or the regional, and unitary government, it is single government, that is national government, which may create regional government. Written constitution here पर federal government में decision of powers between national and regional government, supremacy of the constitution, rigid constitution, independent judiciary, bicameral legislation. तो यहाँ पर देखेंगे जो यूनिटरी गवर्नमेंट है, constitution may be written in France or written unwritten Britain. No division of powers, all powers are vested in the national government. Constitution may be supreme in Japan or may not be supreme Britain. Constitution may be supreme or may not be supreme. May be supreme Japan and may not be Britain. Constitution may be rigid France or may be flexible Britain. Judiciary may be independent or may not be independent. Legislature may be bicameral Britain, maybe unicameral China. Okay, the term federation is derived from a Latin word foedus, which means treaty or agreement. Okay, federation means treaty or agreement. Thus, a federation is a new state political system which is formed through a treaty or an agreement between the various units. The units of a federation are known by various names like states, as in US, or cantons on Switzerland. Various names, states, okay, federal states, okay, United States, okay, our cantons, Switzerland, provinces, Canada, federal provinces, okay, Canada, and republics, Austria. Federation can be formed into two ways, that is, by way of integration or by way of disintegration. In the first case, a number of military weak or economically backward states independent come together to form a big and backward states independent come together to form a big and strong union, as in, for example, the United States. In the second case, okay, in the second, the big unitary states is converted into federation by granting autonomy to the provinces to promote regional interests. For example, Canada, the United States is the first and the oldest federation in the world. It was formed in 1787, following the American Revolution, 1975 to 83. It comprises 50 states, 13 original 13 states, and is taken as a model of federation. The Canadian Federation comprises 10 provinces. Originally 4 provinces, is also quite old, formed in 1867. The Constitution of India provides for a federal system of government in the country. Federal system of the government in the country. The framers adopted the federal system due to two main reasons. The large size of the country and its socio-economic diversity. They realize that the federal system not only ensures the efficient government of the country, but also the federal system not only ensures the efficient governance of the country, but also recognizes national unity and regional autonomy. However, the term federation has nowhere been used in the Constitution. Instead, Article 1 of the Constitution describes India as a union of states. According to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the phrase union of states, okay, has been preferred federation of states to indicate two things. The Indian Federation is not the result of the agreement among the states. Indian Federation is not the result of the agreement among the states. Okay, Federation of State, that to indicate the two things. Indian Federation is not the result of the agreement among the states like the American Federation. The states have no right. The states have no right to secede from the federation. The federation is union because it is indestructible. The Indian Federation system is based on the Canadian model and not on the American model. The Canadian model, the Indian Federation mainly Canadian model, okay, differs fundamentally, okay, from the American model. So as it establishes a very strong center, the Indian Federation resembles the Canadian Federation in its formation, whether by way of disintegration in its preference to the term of union. The Canadian Federation is also called union. It in its centralizing tendency, that is, vesting more powers in the center that is states. Federal features of the constitution. Okay, dual polity. The constitution established dual polity, consisting is the union and the center, and the union at the center and the states at the periphery. Each is endowed its sovereign powers to be exercised in the field assigned to them respectively by the constitution. The Indian government deals with the matters of national importance, like for defense. Indian government deals with the matters of national importance, like defense, foreign affairs, currency, communication, and so on. The state government, on the other hand, look after the matters of regional, local importance, like public order, agriculture, health, local government, etc. Okay, matters in regional and local importance, like public order, agriculture, health, local government, and so on. And it is the written constitution, federal written constitution. The constitution is not only a written document but also the lengthiest constitution of the world. Originally, it contained preamble 390. It contained a preamble, 395 articles divided 22 parts. Its schedule at present 2016 it consists of the preamble about 465 articles divided into 25 parts, 12 schedules. 25 parts, 12 schedule, 465 articles. It specifies the structure, organization, power, and function of both the central and the state government, and prescribes the limits within which they must operate. Thus, it avoids the misunderstanding and disagreement between the two. Division of powers. The Constitution divides the powers between the center and the states in terms of union list, state list, and concurrent list in the seventh schedule. Concurrent list in the seventh schedule. The union list consists of 100 subjects originally in original 97. Union list consists 100 subjects. Subjects originally is 97. In the union list consists of 100 subjects. In original 97, the state subject list is 61 subjects. Original 66. That is concurrent list 52 subjects. Original 40. Both the center and the states can make laws on the subject of the concurrent list. But in case of a conflict, the central laws prevail. The residuary subjects, that is, which are not mentioned in any of the three lists, are given to the center. Supremacy of the Constitution. The Constitution is also in the supreme laws. Highest law of the land. The laws enacted by the central and the state must conform to its provision. Otherwise, they can be declared invalid by the Supreme Court. Center and the states must conform to its provisions. Otherwise, they can be declared invalid in the Supreme Court by the Supreme Court or High Courts, but through their powers of judicial review. Thus, the organs of the government, legislative, executive, judicial, at both the levels must operate within the jurisdiction prescribed by Constitution. Rigid Constitution. The division of powers established by the Constitution as well as the supremacy of the Constitution can be maintained by only if the mention of the amendment is rigid. Hence, the Constitution is rigid to the extent that those powers of which are concerned with federal structure, center-state relations, and judicial organization can be amended only by the joint action. Joint action. Of central government and state government, such provisions require for their amendment of separate special majority of the parliament, and also approval half of the state legislature. Independent judiciary. The Constitution established the independent judiciary headed by the Supreme Court for two purposes. One, to protect the supremacy of the Constitution by exercising the powers of judicial review, and two, to settle the disputes between the center and the states, or between the states. The Constitution contains the various measures like the security of tenure up to judge, fixed to service condition, and so on to make the judiciary independent of the government. Bicameralism. The Constitution provides for bicameral legislature consisting of an upper house Rajya Sabha and the lower house Lok Sabha. The Rajya Sabha represents the states of Indian Federation, which is the Lok Sabha. This Rajya Sabha represents the state of the Indian Federation. Okay, lower house Lok Sabha and LL and upper house Rajya Sabha. Okay, LL Lok Sabha lower house. Okay, the Indian Federation. Okay, the Rajya Sabha represents the Indian Federation, while the Lok Sabha represents Rajya Sabha represents Indian Federation and the Lok Sabha represents people of India as a whole. Okay, and the Rajya Sabha even with though a less powerful chamber is required to maintain the federal equilibrium by protecting the interest of the states against the undue interference of the center. Center. Unitary features of the Constitution. Beside the above federal feature, the Indian Constitution also possesses the following unitary or non-federal features. Beside the above federal features, the Indian Constitution also possesses the following unitary and non-federal features. Strong center. The division of powers in favor of the center is earned high inequality from the federalist angle. Firstly, the union list contains more subjects than the state list. Union list contains more subjects than the state list. Secondly, the more important subjects have been included in the union list. Thirdly, the center has overriding authority over the center has overriding authority over the concurrent list. Finally, the residuary powers have also been left with the center. Well, in the US, they are vested in the states. Thus, the Constitution has made the center very strong. Okay, states non-indestructible. Unlike the other federations, the states of India have no right to territorial integrity. Okay, in other federations, the states of India have no right to territorial integrity. The parliament can be an unilateral action change in the area boundaries or name of any state. Okay, in state, moreover, it requires only a simple majority and not a special majority. Hence, the Indian Federation is an indestructible union of the destructible state. The American Federation, on the other hand, is described as an indestructible union of indestructible state, single constitution. Usually, in the federation, the states have the right to frame their own constitution. Usually in a federation, the states have the right to frame their own constitution separate from the center. In India, on the ordinary, no such power is given to the states. The Constitution of India embodies not only the constitution of the center, but also those of the states. Both the center and the states must operate within the single frame. The only exception in this regard is the case of Jammu and Kashmir, which has its own constitution. Flexibility of the Constitution. The process of the Constitution amendment is less rigid and that which is found in the other federation. The bulk of the Constitution can be amended by the unilateral action of the Parliament, either by simple majority or by special majority. Further, the power to initiate an amendment to the Constitution lies only with the center. Within the center, in the United States, the states can also propose an amendment to the Constitution. In which the states can also propose the amendment to the Constitution. No equality of state representation. The states are given representation in the Rajya Sabha. Okay, on the basis of the population. Hence, the membership varies. The membership varies 1 to 31. In United States, on the other hand, the principle of equality and the representation of the states in the upper house fully recognized. Thus, the American Senate has 100 members. to from each state. The principles is regarded as a safeguard for smaller states. Okay, this is the best of population. Here membership varies 1 to 31. The United States, on the other hand, okay, principal equality and representation of states in the upper house is fully recognized. That the American State Senate has 100 members, 2 from the each state. The principal regarded safeguard of the smaller states. Emergency provisions. Okay, the Constitution regulates 3 types of emergency: national, state, and functional, financial. Okay, and during the emergency, the center becomes all powers, and the states go to the local control of the center. It converts the federal structure into a unitary. Okay, without unitary one without a formal amendment of the Constitution. This kind of transformation is not found in any other federation. A single citizenship. In spite of a dual polity, the Constitution of India, like the Canada, adaptation the system of single citizenship. Again, there is only Indian citizenship and no separate state citizenship. All citizens, irrespective of the states in which they are born in on or reside, enjoy the same rights all over the country. The other federal states like US, Switzerland, and Australia have dual citizenship. Again, that is national citizenship as well as state citizenship. Integrated judiciary. The Indian Constitution has established integrated judicial system with the Supreme Court at the top of the top and the state courts below it. The single sitting of courts enforce both central laws as well as the state laws. In US, on the other hand, there is a double system of courts whereby the federal laws are enforceable. In US, double system of the courts whereby federal laws are enforced by the federal judiciary and the state laws are state judiciary. All India services. The United States, the federal government and the state government have their separate separate public services. In India, also the center and state have the separate public services. But in addition, there are all India services, IS, IPS, and IFS, which are common into both the center and the states. The members of these services are recruited and trained by the center, which also possesses ultimate control over them. Thus, these services violate the principles of the federalism under the Constitution. These services trained by the center, which also possesses ultimate control over them. Thus, these services violate the principles of federalism under the Constitution. Integrated audit machinery. The Comptroller, Auditor-General of India audits and the accounts of not only the central government but also those of the states. But his appointment and removal is done by the president. Without consulting the state. This office regulates the financial autonomy of the states. The American Comptroller, Auditor-General, or the country has no role with respect to the accounts of the states. The parliamentary authorities of our state list. Even the limited sphere of authority allotted to them. Limited sphere of authority allotted to them. The states do not have exclusive control. The parliament is empowered to legislate or on any subject of the state list, and Rajya Sabha passes a resolution to that effect in the national interest. This means that the legislative competence of the parliament can be extended without amending the constitution. Notably, this can be done when there is no emergency of any kind. Appointment of governor. The governor, who is the head of the state, after the appointment of the president, is appointed by the president. He holds the office of deputy during the pleasure of the president. He also acts as the agent of the center, though Through him, the center exercises control over the states. Okay, the American Constitution, on the contrary, provided for an elected head. Okay, head in the states. India adopted the Canadian system, integrated election machinery. The election commission conducts elections not only the central legislature but also state legislature. But this body is constituted by the president and the states have no say in this matter. Okay, the position is same with regard to the removal of the members as well. Okay, on the other hand, US has a separate mechanism for the conduct of elections at the federal and the state level. Veto over state bills. Veto over state bills. Next point. Veto over state bill. The governor is empowered. Okay, governor is empowered. Veto over state bill. The governor is empowered to reserve certain types of bills passed by the state legislature for the consideration of the president. Okay, the president can withhold his assent to such bills not only in the first instance but also in the second instance. The president enjoys absolute veto and not suspensive veto over state bills. But in US, Australia, the states are autonomous within their fields of their no provision of the state reservation. The president withhold his assent to such bills not only in the first instance but also in second instance. President enjoys absolute veto, suspensive veto. Critical evaluation of the federal system. Critical evaluation. From the above, it is clear that the Constitution of India has deviated from the traditional federation of like US, Switzerland, Australia, and incorporated a large number of unitary or non-federal features, tilting the balance of powers in favor of the center. This has prompted the constitutional expert to challenge the federal character of the Indian Constitution. Thus, Casey, who describes the Constitution of India as quasi-federal, he remarked that the Indian Union is a unitary state with subsidiary federal features rather than a federal state with subsidiary unitary features. Okay, Constitution is the quasi-federal. Okay, Indian Constitution quasi-federal. He remarked the Indian Union is a unity of the states with subsidiary features. Federal features rather than federal state with subsidiary unitary features. For this case Antharnam, the two factors have been responsible. Okay, unitary bias, tendency of controlization of the constitution. There is the dominance of the center in the financial sphere and the faith and the dependence of the state upon the central grant. The emergence of a powerful planning commission which control the development process of the states. He observed India has practically functioned as unitary states though the union and the state have tried to function formally or legally as a federation. However, there are other political scientists who do not agree with the above description. Thus, Paul Appleby characteristics of the Union system as extremely federal. Morris Jones terms bargaining federalism ivory-jaining. He described the federation with a strong centralism tendency. He observed the Indian Constitution is mainly federal with unique safeguards for enforcing national unity and growth. In Alexandra, which states that India is a case of sui generis. Okay, the unique government character. Granville Austin, okay, is called Indian Federation is a cooperative federalism. Okay, he said that though the Constitution of India has created a strong central government, it has not made the state government weak and has not has been reduced. State for them to the level of administrative agencies for the evolution of policies. Policies of the central government. He described the Indian Federation as a new kind of the federation to meet India's peculiar needs. Okay, on the nature. The nature of the Indian Constitution, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and made the following observation to the Constitutional Assembly. The Constitution is a federal constitution in as much as it establishes a dual polity. The Union is not a league of states. The United is in a relationship, nor the states the agencies of the Union deriving powers from it. Both the Union and the states, both the Union and the states are created by the Constitution. Both derive their respective authority from the Constitution. He further observed here the Constitution avoids the tight and modeled mold of federalism, and could be both unitary as well as federal according to the requirements of time and circumstances, while replying to the criticism over centralism of the Constitution. He stated a serious complaint is made on the ground of that there is too much centralism edge, and the states have been reduced to municipalities. It is clear that this view is not only an exaggeration but is also founded on a misunderstanding of what exactly the Constitution contrives to do. As to the relations between the center and the state, it is necessary to bear the mind of the fundamental principle on which it rests. The basic principle of fundamentalism is that the legislative and the executive authority is partitioned between the center and the states, not by any law to be made by the center, but by the Constitution itself. This is what the Constitution does. The states is no way dependent upon the center for the legislative and executive authority. The states and the center are co-equal in this matter. It is difficult to see how such a constitution can be called centralism. It is therefore wrong to say that the states have been placed under the center. The center cannot, by its own will, alter the basic boundary of this partition, nor can the judiciary. The center cannot, by its own will alter the boundary of this partition, nor can the judiciary. In Bommai case, 1994, the Supreme Court laid down that the Constitution is federal and characterized federalism as its basic feature. It observed that the fact that under the scheme for Constitution, greater power is conferred upon the center. That is the states. That does not mean that the states are a mere appendage of the center. The states have an independent constitutional existence. They are not satellite or agents of the center within the sphere allotted to them. The states are supreme. The fact that during emergency and in the certain other eventualities, their nuance are overridden or invaded. The center is not destructive or essential federal feature of the Constitution. Their exceptions and the exceptions are not a rule. Let the said federation of the Indian Constitution not a matter of the administration can convince. But one is the principle, the outcomes of our own process of the negotiation and recognition of the ground realities. In fact, the Federation in India represents a comprehensive compromise between the following two conflicting considerations: normal division of powers under which states enjoy autonomy within their own spheres, need for national integrity, and the strong union government under exceptional circumstances. The following trends in the working of the Indian political system reflects its federal spirit. Federal dispute between the states, example between Maharashtra and Karnataka, and over Belgaum. Okay, disputes between states over the sharing of river water. For example, between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu over the Kaveri water. The emergence of regional parties and their coming to powers in states like Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu. The creation of new states to fulfill the regional aspirations of, for example, Mizoram, recently Jharkhand. Okay, and the demand of the states for more financial grants from the center to meet the development needs, assertion of the okay, autonomy by the states. Okay, and sharing of rivers water. Okay, example between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu over the Kaveri water. Regional parties coming to the power of the states of Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu. This creation of the new states to fulfill a regional aspiration, for example, Mizoram. And demand of the states for financial grants from the center to meet the development needs, assertion, autonomy by the states, and their resistance in the interference from the center. The Supreme Court imposed of several procedures in limitation of Article 356 precedent rules in the states and by the center. ये नोट्स देख सकते हैं, नोट्स यहाँ पर दिया हुआ है, तो पढ़ लीजिए. सो थैंक यू फ्रेंड्स. आई थिंक नेक्स्ट चैप्टर हम डिस्कस करेंगे.